We live in a world where every problem seems to have a supplement solution. Tired? Take B12. Can't sleep? Take melatonin. Hair thinning? Try biotin. Feeling anxious? Grab some magnesium. But what if I told you, the real issue isn't what you're taking, it's what your body can't use. Your body isn't a storage locker where you just dump vitamins and magically feel better. It's more like a garden, and no matter how much fertilizer you throw on it, if the soil is damaged, nothing grows. That's why so many people stay stuck with dangerously low vitamin D levels for years, even after taking high-quality supplements with all the right cofactors. That's why some people take magnesium glycinate for months, and still wake up with anxiety and panic, eventually wondering, is this all just a scam? It's not always the supplement that's failing you. In many cases, it's your gut. When your gut health is compromised, your body struggles to absorb nutrients, whether they come from food or supplements. You're taking in what your body desperately needs, but it's not getting where it needs to go. In this video, we're going to break down the sneaky things that destroy gut health, and you may not even realize you're doing them. Clear signs your gut isn't absorbing nutrients properly, and simple, powerful tips to start healing your gut and unlocking the full power of your supplements, naturally. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to support the channel and help this video reach more people who truly need to hear this. Now, let's get into it. The sneaky things that destroy gut health, and you may not even realize you're doing them. When people think of gut damage, they often think of obvious things like fast food, soda, or alcohol. But what if I told you that some of the most damaging things to your gut are habits and foods you probably consider normal, even healthy? Let's start with the biggest offenders. 1. Overuse of antibiotics. Even just once can have a long-term impact. Antibiotics save lives, no question. But what most people don't realize is that even one round of antibiotics can wipe out large portions of your gut bacteria, both the bad and the good. A study published in Nature Microbiology found that a single course of antibiotics can reduce microbial diversity in the gut for months, and in some cases the gut microbiome never fully recovers. And it's not just prescription antibiotics. Many of the meat and dairy products we consume come from animals treated with antibiotics, so even if you're not taking meds, you might be consuming residues that still affect your gut. Solution? If antibiotics are necessary, always consider pairing them with probiotics and follow up with a gut-rebuilding diet. We'll get to that. And aim for organic or antibiotic-free animal products when possible. 2. Artificial sweeteners, especially sucralose, aspartame, and saccharin. Trying to cut back on sugar? That's great. But if you've replaced it with diet soda, protein bars, or sugar-free gum, you might be doing your gut more harm than good. A 2014 study in Nature showed that non-caloric artificial sweeteners like aspartame and saccharin can cause glucose intolerance by negatively altering gut bacteria. Another study found that sucralose, Splenda, reduces good bacteria by up to 50% in the gut. These chemicals confuse your microbiome and feed the wrong organisms. And worse, they're often marketed as healthy alternatives. Solution? Switch to gut-friendly natural sweeteners like stevia or monk fruit and cut back on overly processed, sugar-free products. 3. Chronic stress. Your gut and brain are intimately connected through the gut-brain axis. When you're under chronic stress, your body releases cortisol, which can damage the gut lining and disrupt microbial balance. In fact, research from the Journal of Physiology and Pharmacology shows that psychological stress can increase gut permeability, commonly known as leaky gut. That means undigested food particles, toxins, and bacteria can slip into your bloodstream, triggering inflammation, autoimmune issues, and even nutrient malabsorption. So what can you do? Incorporate stress-reducing practices like breathwork, walking in nature, prayer, or simply disconnecting from screens. These aren't just feel-good habits, they literally protect your gut barrier. 4. Pesticide-laden foods, glyphosate in particular. Glyphosate, the active ingredient in many herbicides like Roundup, is everywhere, even in non-GMO foods. Studies show it can disrupt gut flora, particularly by killing beneficial bacteria and allowing opportunistic pathogens to overgrow. A study from Interdisciplinary Toxicology found that glyphosate can inhibit beneficial gut microbes like lactobacillus and bifidobacteria, while leaving more harmful strains untouched. So, whenever possible, choose organic produce or wash fruits and vegetables thoroughly. You don't have to go 100% organic overnight, but reducing exposure can make a big difference over time. 5. Low-fiber diets, even if you think you're eating healthy. Many people believe they're eating healthy simply because they've cut out carbs or sugar. But what they don't realize is that in doing so, they often end up cutting out one of the most important nutrients for gut health: fiber. Fiber is the primary food source for beneficial gut bacteria, and without it, those microbes begin to die off, leading to imbalances that can affect everything from digestion to mental clarity. But here's the thing. Not all fiber is created equal. We're not talking about sugary breakfast cereals labeled high in fiber or processed fiber bars filled with sweeteners. In fact, those can do more harm than good. What your gut really needs is good quality fiber from low-sugar, nutrient-dense sources like non-starchy vegetables and whole plant foods. A study published in Cell found that diets low in dietary fiber lead to a significant reduction in microbial diversity in the gut, and that lack of diversity has been linked to weakened immune function, increased inflammation, weight gain, and even mood disorders like anxiety and depression. To begin restoring your gut, it's important to gradually reintroduce natural fiber-rich foods, not the fake ones. Think leafy greens like spinach and kale, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, healthy fats like avocado, small portions of low-sugar fruits like berries, and gut-healing fermented foods like sauerkraut and kimchi. These not only provide essential fiber, but also help rebuild the balance of bacteria in your gut. 6. NSAIDs like ibuprofen and naproxen. It's easy to pop a painkiller when you've got a headache or sore muscles, but regular use of NSAIDs like ibuprofen or naproxen can break down your gut lining, causing small holes and inflammation over time. Research from clinical gastroenterology and hepatology found that even short-term use of NSAIDs can increase intestinal permeability, which again leads to leaky gut. 7. Lack of sleep. Believe it or not, your gut bacteria follow a circadian rhythm, just like you do. Poor sleep disrupts this rhythm and can negatively alter your gut flora. A study published in Molecular Metabolism showed that sleep deprivation leads to a less diverse microbiome, which can in turn affect metabolism, blood sugar regulation, and immunity. That's why it's important to prioritize consistent sleep, 7-9 hours, reduce screen exposure at night, and consider a magnesium-rich bedtime routine to relax your nervous system. Now that we've talked about what destroys gut health, let's look at how you can tell if your gut isn't actually absorbing the nutrients you're giving it, even if you're eating healthy and taking high-quality supplements. One of the first red flags is persistent fatigue. If you're constantly tired, even after getting enough sleep or taking energy-boosting vitamins like B12 or iron, it may not be a deficiency issue. It may be an absorption issue. In fact, chronic low energy is one of the most common symptoms of malabsorption, especially when the gut lining is inflamed or damaged. Frequent bloating, gas, or undigested food in your stool is another red flag. This is often a sign that your digestive enzymes and beneficial gut bacteria are not doing their job. When food isn't broken down properly, your body can't extract the nutrients, and what's left behind can ferment in your gut, causing discomfort, inflammation, and even further microbiome imbalance. Then there's skin issues, and this is a big one. If you struggle with acne, eczema, rosacea, or even unexplained rashes, the root cause may not be what you're putting on your skin, but what your body isn't able to absorb internally. Zinc, vitamin A, omega-3s, and antioxidants are critical for skin repair and glow. But if they're not being absorbed due to poor gut health, your skin will reflect that. You might also notice cravings and constant hunger, especially for sugar or carbs. This can be your body's desperate attempt to compensate for missing nutrients. When you're not absorbing enough protein, magnesium, or healthy fats, your hunger hormones get confused, and your body keeps asking for more food, even if it's already full. Lastly, frequent illnesses or slow recovery from colds, infections, or wounds is another telling sign. About 70–80% of your immune system is located in your gut, and when your gut lining is damaged or your microbiome is imbalanced, your immune response weakens. You may find yourself getting sick more often, taking longer to recover, or developing sensitivities and allergies you never had before. So if you've been doing all the right things, eating clean, taking your supplements, but you're still tired, anxious, bloated, breaking out, or getting sick all the time, it's time to stop blaming your vitamins and start looking at your gut. With all that said, one question remains: how do you fix it? How do you restore your gut so that the food you eat and the supplements you take actually start working for you, not just passing through your system? Let's start with the most foundational: remove what's hurting you. You can't begin to heal your gut if you're constantly feeding the very things that are damaging it. That means cutting back on ultra-processed foods, refined sugars, seed oils, artificial sweeteners, and alcohol, all of which inflame the gut lining and feed harmful bacteria. Even foods you think are healthy, like certain protein bars or flavored yogurts, can be loaded with gut-damaging additives. Next, focus on adding in gut-healing foods. One of the most powerful things you can do is to eat a variety of fermented foods. These are natural sources of probiotics, the good bacteria your gut needs to rebalance and thrive. Foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, plain yogurt, miso, and fermented pickles can slowly repopulate your gut with beneficial microbes. A 2021 study from Cell found that individuals who consumed fermented foods daily saw a significant increase in microbiome diversity and a reduction in inflammatory markers. At the same time, don't forget the prebiotics, the fuel your good bacteria live on. This is where high-quality, low-sugar fiber comes in. Think leeks, garlic, onions, asparagus, flax seeds, and leafy greens. This type of fiber is what keeps your beneficial bacteria alive, active, and doing their job of helping you absorb nutrients, produce neurotransmitters, and even regulate immune responses. Another overlooked yet critical step is to slow down when you eat. Most people are rushing through meals, eating distracted, stressed, or even while scrolling. This triggers the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight state, which shuts down digestion. To absorb nutrients, your body needs to be in a parasympathetic, rest and digest state. Simply taking a few deep breaths before meals, chewing slowly, and eating without screens can dramatically improve your digestion and nutrient uptake. You should also consider adding bone broth or collagen-rich foods into your diet. These are natural sources of glycine, glutamine, and gelatin, nutrients that help rebuild the gut lining and seal microscopic leaks in the intestinal wall. If you've ever heard of leaky gut, this is where that healing starts. Bone broth is especially helpful during periods of inflammation or recovery from antibiotics. Hydration is another critical piece. Many people walk around dehydrated without realizing it. Water is essential for moving nutrients across the intestinal wall and keeping the digestive tract running smoothly. Aim for filtered water, and consider adding a pinch of natural sea salt or trace minerals if you're sweating a lot or drinking caffeine regularly. Lastly, like we said, don't overlook stress management. Your gut and brain are in constant communication, and chronic stress damages the gut lining just as much as junk food does. Activities like walking in nature, mindfulness, prayer, journaling, or even just unplugging from your phone for a while can dramatically reduce gut inflammation. In fact, studies have shown that just 20 minutes of being in nature can reduce cortisol levels, which supports both gut health and nutrient absorption. And there you have it. Sometimes the real fix isn't in adding more supplements, but in healing the gut that's meant to absorb them. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to help spread this message to more people who truly need it. And remember, always consult with your healthcare provider before making significant changes to your diet, supplement routine, or lifestyle, especially if you have any underlying condition. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.